Hello, Meoni here, and it's that time. Finally, we have the preliminary 6.0 patch notes for Endwalker. Holy moly, there is a lot to go over. Do not expect this video to be a short one. I want to read through this. There's a lot of people that prefer it to be read to them rather than actually reading it themselves, depending on where they are or what they're doing in real life. Maybe this will help. You can read this, listen to this reading as you're driving around or something. For all of the actual meat and potatoes, all of the finer details, please find the link to this in the description of this video and go and read it yourself if you have any time. But without further ado, we need to get started reading through these. So first of all, patch 6.0 obviously coming out 3rd of December for early access. It says, "It is with great pleasure that we present the preliminary patch notes." The pleasure is all mine, Yoshi P. Don't worry about that. So it does say, in red text before we go on, it says, "Additional features will be implemented in future updates. These include the Raid Pandemonium, which is scheduled to be released in 6.01, and the Treasure Hunt instance, the Excitatron 6000, and Pandemonium Raid on Savage, are scheduled to be released in 6.05. The new PvP content, Crystal Conflict, is planned for 6.1 or later, and that's all of the red text. Before you ask where that content is in these patch notes, it isn't in these patch notes. It will be added later. So first of all, they've got the launch trailer. We're not going to bother with that. You've seen the trailer, or if you haven't seen it, please go and click that link. Firstly, they say new cities have been added. We've got Old Charlian looking absolutely fine there, and Radzat Han. Now, we hadn't actually seen anything to do with Radzat Han's interior apart from concept art. It kind of reminds me a bit like Uldar, you know, especially if you're watching this video right now. This looks like the Sapphire Avenue Exchange, this bit here in the second photo, but it's very nice. Sort of has those sort of like Indian, sort of Moroccan vibes, those sorts of, you know, those parts of the world. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Lots of coloration, lots of, you can imagine the spice trade and dyes and things like that. Yes, absolutely, exactly what we wanted to see. So it says new field areas have been added. The first of which they talk about is Labyrinthos. We'll talk about that later, but it does actually look like Labyrinthos is the first zone. I think. Anyway, we'll have to double check on that. But as you can see, it is that underground zone. It is huge. It kind of reminds me of a holodeck or something from Star Trek, because the ceiling is not actually real, is it? This is deep underground with a light source that's created, and fake clouds. So, yes. Then we've got Thavnir looking beautiful, very, very nice. That's where Radzat Han is, as well as obviously Tower of Zot that we've talked about in previous videos. Then we have Garlemald with the subway and the depression, let's call it, with the ruins, etc. Then we have a nice couple of pictures of Mare Lamentorum, which is the moon base sort of place, with these artificial structures, which look absolutely awesome. This aetheryte is just beautiful, isn't it, on the moon, and we can see Hydaelyn in the background, and here's a nice interior shot. They say additional new areas have been omitted to prevent spoilers, so this isn't all of the zones. They just don't want to spoil it just yet, which is fine by me. New city and field aetherytes have been added. They just want to show off how good those look. The Charlian one, beautiful sort of spiral, and obviously the Garlean one, which looks like it's practical over form, you know, function over form, I would say. The number of ether currents in all Heavensward, Stormblood, and Shadowbringers areas has been reduced. Furthermore, the location of certain ether currents has also been adjusted. It says players who met this new ether current requirement prior to the release of 6.0 will unlock the ability to fly in each area. So basically, ether currents have been nerfed for those old zones. Ether currents is always something that everybody complains about when they get to that part, but it does look like they've gone back and reduced the amount of them and also changed the location in Heavensward onwards. So I'm expecting Endwalker's ether currents either to be really difficult and be nerfed in the future like this, or deliberately easy. We'll see. We'll wait and see. If they're easy, then it makes it easier for alts, right? Which is the main reason you would want this in the first place. Talking about quests then, patch 6.0 introduced a myriad of quests, they say, including addition to the main scenario. There may be cases where patch Note, only cite the initial quest in a series or omit quests. So, as we can see, we've got the first few glimpses of Endwalker with this big boat, which is probably being set from Limsa Laminsa, as you can see, with the scions that are going to Old Sharlayan. That's how you get there. We've got Kryl Baldessian there, very likely. We've got the twins, and we've got Thancred. And then there's a picture of Estinian looking very moody in this dark, electrified smog, whatever that is, with his weapon there. And yeah, I can't wait to see how this pans out. Side story quests have been added. Side story quests added in 6.0 will employ an automatic level system. So it gets that quest sync system. So it doesn't matter what level you are, they'll still give you relative experience as long as you are above the level of 80, right? 80 to 90, it will scale. So you can do those side quests whenever you want to, just like in Shadowbringers. It does say, however, certain side story quests do not use quest sync. So there's a couple maybe you might find. Role quests have been added then. This is the return of role quests. So before we had class quests. I believe the class quest system has been completely removed from the idea of adding new stuff to it. Instead, we're just getting role quests only. So the physical DPS role quests added in 6.0 have been divided into two categories now. Now you have melee DPS and physical range DPS as those two categories, which of course means that you're going to have your bards, etc., and your machinists separated from your, and obviously dancers and stuff, separated from your ninjas and monks and things, which makes a lot more sense. And as an example, they've got Yugiri and Lord Kyan, there, and then you've got obviously I forget her name, Hairdo in Gridania with like maybe the archers and stuff. Her new name is Hairdo. So as you can see, it says Shrouded in Peril. We've got quests that you must proceed to. Oh right, so these are the role quests. You need to be a certain point in the Endwalker main scenario. So I believe as well, there was a thing in the live letter saying that these were not mandatory this time around. You could complete the MSQ without actually completing your role quests, which is interesting. Whether that's still the case, we'll find out. It says additional quests unlocked upon completing the entirety of the main scenario, and all 5 role quests series will be added in a future update. So yes, much like the Void Quest system, if you haven't done Void Quests, I advise you go do those. Those are important, we've been told. So something similar will be added for doing one of each role in the future. Studium deliveries have been added, so this is your custom delivery stuff. As you can see, each Disciple of Hand or Land will be able to progress through one of 5 series of quests associated with the different faculties of a studium. So this is the crystalline mean then, isn't it, basically? Completing deliveries for a faculty of the studium will advance the story of that particular faculty. It says, because studium delivery quests rewards include crafter scripts and gatherer scripts, players must first complete the quest in Scrutable Taste before undertaking deliveries. Beautiful heads-up display there, looking good. We've got a remuneration stuff. I'm looking forward to not doing those personally. I don't know, we'll see. I might try and find a time. And obviously you've got quests here, the faculty with Key Aliapo, a new Aliapo, interesting. We've got Professor Rurusha's new friend, all sorts of stuff. Like, I'm not going to read through all of those. Lots of stuff, even for Fisher, look. Awesome, absolutely awesome. And it says, additional quests will be unlocked upon completing the entirety of the main scenario and all 5 studium delivery quests. So last time there was fireworks, and I won't spoil the rest for doing the crystalline mean, which is pretty cool. Certain instance battles will now display character portraits alongside the battle dialogue widget. Character portraits have only been added to instance battles appearing in the main scenario of Endwalker. They can be disabled by unchecking the display character portraits with battle dialogue widget option under the HUD of UI settings in the character configuration menu. Interesting. I'm not really sure what that means. Character portraits, maybe anime style character portraits on screen, I'm not sure. When viewing cutscenes in the Unending Journey, class quests and job quests up to and including those introduced in the 4.x patches will require players to change to the relevant class or job. They've got rid of a bit of fun here. You could basically go in there with, I don't know, do your white mage stuff as a fisherman, couldn't you? Oh well, it makes sense, I suppose. When viewing cutscenes of Disciple of War or Magic classes, they must also be they may also be viewed when playing as the corresponding job. Yeah. Talking about leaves then, or levies. New tradecraft and fieldcraft levies have been added. No tradecraft leaves or Fisher fieldcraft leaves allowing multiple turn-ins have been added. Okay. Experience points rewarded when you're using a class at level 80 or above to complete a leave with a level requirement below 80 have been capped at 1,000. That's to prevent people exploiting that, obviously. With consideration for the inflation of gil and the potential rewards for using a single levy allowance, the following adjustments have been made. I'm looking at you, coffee biscuit people. The experience points and gil rewarded for tradecraft leaves that only allow a single turn-in have been increased. The experience points and gil reward for tradecraft leaves that allow multiple turn-ins have been reduced. And then they've also done a single turn-in have been increased, and multiple turn-ins for Fisher field crafts and stuff have been reduced. Because of a downscaling of in-game values coincides with adjustments to rewards, it is not possible to make a direct comparison of rewards before and after the release of 6.0. Yeah, as we know. When undertaking Fisher field craft leaves that require spear fishing, they say, the number of fish required for completion has been increased. Oof. I didn't like spearfishing to begin with. Although it is changed, though, so we might have a better chance. It says new fates have been added. Very interesting. Look at this fella. Oh, he looks mean, doesn't he? He's actually on that square in the middle of in Fafnir that we were talking about in the media tour. What could this square be for? Turns out it's a fate area. Very interesting. Kind of looks a little bit like a weird version of Gilgamesh, doesn't it, really? I'm not sure what boss this is. Let me know if you know. Players will receive bicolor gemstones upon completing fates in 6.0 areas. This currency can be exchanged with gemstone trader NPCs for various goods. And they're the same gemstones, by the way. We did a video on this previously. If you've got some, save them, and you'll be able to get new stuff. Of course, you need the ranks to access that particular item on the vendor, but if you have a lot of gemstones to begin with, it's a lot easier, right? Less grinding. And of course, this is the new updated shared fate window, which shows Labyrinthos as our first zone, which is very interesting to me. So Labyrinthos, Fafnir, Garlemald. Interesting. I didn't know that was the way that we might go. We'll see. Treasure Hunt. The following additions and adjustments have been made to treasure maps. They've now got Almasty skin, that's how you say that, treasure maps, and Cumbrai skin, I'm not saying that ever again, we're calling them cum maps, have been added. Rewards for glider skin treasure maps and Zanur skin treasure maps have been adjusted. Elegant Tomestones rewarded for completion of treasure maps introduced prior to 6.0 have been changed from Elegant Tomestones of Revelation and Elegant Tomestones of Allegory to Elegant Tomestones of Poetics. Starting in 6.05, there will be a chance for a teleportation portal to appear when completing the cum maps, Cumbraskin treasure maps. So you won't get your treasure map dungeons until 6.05, even if you did them, so save them, I would suggest. The dungeons of Lygaia and shifting oubliettes of Lygaia will now be level synced, adjusting players to level 80. Of course, that's what they did with Stormblood ones as well prior to that. Grand and Free Companies section. Additional items will now be accepted for supply and provisioning missions. Reaper and Sage symbol options have been added to company crests. New craftable items have been added to the company workshop. They show this lovely exterior. This is the cafe exterior, which is, I think, beautiful. You might disagree, but they showed this off in a live letter. Very nice. The company actions have been replaced with the new actions. So back on the feet, 1 and 2, I can't remember what I even did, it's that bad, is now being replaced with fleet-footed 1 and 2. Now, fleet-footed, if I remember correctly, at least fleet-footed 2, in city states, will allow you to sprint, and as soon as the sprint is back off cooldown, they've timed it to basically be, as soon as sprint runs out, it will be back off of cooldown. This only applies in cities, so essentially you have infinite sprint. This is something I would rather have than maybe having the teleportation fees, personally. But who knows? Do you want to sprint around cities? I do. It makes things a little bit easier. But it's nice to have. I don't even remember what back on the feet does, so there we go. Housing. So the Imperium has been added. This is the new housing district for Ishgard. You'll be able to go there, actually, right at the launch and see the various plot areas. You won't be able to purchase this stuff, though, until 6.1. The first lottery system starts in 6.1. So that's a thing. But at least you'll be able to go and visit it. You must have first completed the main scenario quest, Litany of Peace, to be able to do that. In preparation for the lottery sale system, they say, scheduled to be implemented in 6.1, it will no longer be possible to relocate an estate to plots of land that are not yet ready for purchase. So if you're going to do any last-minute relocations, you might want to do that, because after this, you'll have to go through the lottery system as well. There will be no instant relocations. It's a good change overall, but goodbye to all of the ways that I've ever got a house. Apart from the FC mansion, that was basically pure luck on the patch day in Stormblood, where I clicked a placard and got it. But yeah, the lottery is a good thing. It's coming. It should fix a few of the issues that we have. Hopefully, right? Furnishings from the Furnishing Design Contest have been added. These are from 2017 and 19, it says. Entries that did not win have also been selected to serve as new furnishings. Oh, that's nice. They've done that before. So what have we got in here? We've got an ivy-coated chair. That's beautiful. Like interior one. Very nice. A fat cat, what do you call it? Rug. I don't know why rug eluded me. We've got Valention's sort of candle and a love heart. This like side corner brick desk thing. A cake. Some kind of mirror. Is that a mirror? Like a fake light or something? Then we've got this. This is the main thing, right? This dangly light with the moon and the stars. Very nice. I like that a lot. I will probably end up using that. We've also got this corner desk look with this set of drawers above it and plant pots. That's adorable. Then on this one, we have some outdoors items as a sneak peek. We've got a tree swing. Look at this. If this doesn't swing, then it'll be mildly sad, but at least it'll look good for G-pose pictures. I can imagine a lot of people using this for G-pose. And another fountain type dealio. Looks lovely though. And then we've also got new furnishings added. Look at those blinds. I love blinds. That's going to be beautiful, presumably dyeable as well. I want those to be white, pure white dyed blinds covering window partitions. Beautiful. I love this idea, though. You get your Phasmascape. This looks like a new Phasmascape, by the way, with a sunset. That's a good idea. So Phasmascapes are like TV screens with a picture on that slightly moves or sometimes doesn't move. We've had one from Tsukiyomi with a moon and stuff like that, and also the Azim Step. This looks like to be a new one, but the idea of like covering that with blinds gives the effect of even more realism, right? Because you can't see the imperfections. That's really cool. I do like that setup. We've got some tables that I recognize. Maybe that's not the case. I don't know. This looks like a food display. Interesting. We've got a Pisa clock with an indent in the wall. Interesting. More shelves, wall shelves. We have what is this? A Glockenspiel? Or like a big whatever, Very cool. And what is these signs? There's like nuclear signs and things, and like bunker, like a nuclear bunker. Interesting. That would look really cool as a basement. And then I think these floors in here. Very nice. Crafting facility furnishings can now be used by crafting classes up to level 80. That's nice. In accordance with the increased cap to level 90, Favnarian dummies have been added. Those look adorable. New orchestrion rolls have been added. New aquarium fish. Oh, that looks... Is that a moonfish? Everything on the moon looks really long and wavy. Oh dear. When viewing the aquarium fish window, fish will now be separated into tabs according to size. Oh, that is so good. Oh, thank you. This is a real pain when you're trying to find what can go in what tank, but this has made it a lot easier. Good. New seed for flower pots have been added. You can get those from the material suppliers in all of the starting places. Mandeville Gold Saucer. Now, I'm not sure what's shown in this picture, because that's the Spectacles emote. It says new prizes are available. So it's not the emote. Is it the hat and outfit? Because this looks a lot like stuff from Heavenswood, no? Like the Black Mage stuff? I forget. Maybe they're adding that stuff as like class unlocked level 1 and above gear. Who knows? That'd be interesting. Either way, I'm going straight to the Gold Saucer on patch day to have a look. New cards have been added to Triple Triad. We knew that was going to happen. New NPC opponents for Triple Triad have been added, and players can now engage in Triple Triad matches in new areas. Lovely. Obviously, you can now choose Male Vieira. That's in the miscellaneous section here. Looking good. Regardless of your progression in the main scenario, Male Vieira will be selectable. So just Fantasia, basically, and then you'll be able to be a Bun Bun. Speaking of Bun Buns, in this patch, Vieira get new hairstyles. As you can see, this is the one that I've seen my girlfriend use on her character, her Makote, for the longest time. This is one of the examples, as you can see, front and back here. And yes, I believe a lot of people will be going back to Vieira because of those hairstyles. As for the hat situation, who knows, right? It says new Hrothgar hairstyles are scheduled to be in 6.1. So there you go. And then I believe 6.2 is when you get the female Hrothgar. Citation needed. A new face option has been also added for male Midlander hire. This is the stubble that was promised a long time ago, so now you can have a stubble lander if you want. We've got the following additions and adjustments have been made to the trust system. Estinian's now a trust. Estinian cannot accompany players into Shadowbringers dungeons. So what happens is your trust window now has everything before Endwalker as a separate tab. There's like a separate menu. You switch between the two. So there's Endwalker Trust and then there's Shadowbringers Trust. So you can't mix and match, right? In accordance with the increased character level cap, the cap for avatar NPCs has also been increased. Avatar NPCs can reach a maximum level of 90. Lovely. The requirements for unlocking scenario mode have been removed. Both avatars and scenario mode will become available after completing the main scenario quest. Oh, that's really interesting. So instead of having to complete the MSQ before you can start leveling these guys up for avatar mode, which is for subsequent runs, I guess they level up at the same time now? That's freaking awesome, dude. Very cool. The amount of experience points rewarded for avatars to gain levels will be reduced in accordance with the downscaling. All right, so it'll still be the same, but it'll look less. Yeah, cool. Because the database must be overwritten and implemented to downscaling values, any experience points... Oh, so the experience points between levels will also account for your avatars as well. I didn't realize that. So you might want to level those up, or they will be de-leveled, basically, from that half a level you might have in your trusts. Interesting. The following additions and adjustments have been made to Wondrous Tales. Obviously, we've got new stuff for the gold certificates, silver, and bronze, obviously. The following duties have been added to Wondrous Tales. Oh, interesting. Here we go. The Tower of Paradigm's Breach, Minstrel's Ballad, Hades' Elegy, Cinder Drift Extreme, Memoria Misera Extreme. Oh, no, not Memoria. I don't like that. Seat of Sacrifice Extreme, Castrum Marianum Extreme, the Cloud Deck Extreme. So, yeah, all of the new extremes. And then level 81 to 90 dungeons. Interesting. So it could be really annoying on Wondrous Tales now. Even more stuff to go through. Endwalker entries have also been added to the sightseeing log, as you would expect. The following additions and changes have been made to the challenge log. So we've got new categories. A boon from nature. Successfully trigger the Gatherer's boon effect while gathering items of comparable level to your own 30 times. Catch of the day. Catch 10 large-size fish. Spear no effort. Oh dear. Spear 20 large-size fish. Give them what they want 1, which is complete 5 supply and provisioning missions. And then there's a number 2 to that, which is 10 supply and delivery missions. The following categories were removed for Gathering Storm HQ, Hooked on a Reeling HQ, Spear Me HQ, give them what they want, and give them what they want at HQ. Okay, cool. So just adjustments, but those will have rewards associated still. Skywatcher NPCs have been added to the new areas, obviously, so you can predict the weather and stuff. Let's move on to the battle system section now. The level cap, obviously, has been raised to level 90. Reaper and Sage jobs have been added to the game. We've got a couple of pictures here. They start at level 70, and this particular Reaper starts in Uldar at the Flustered Attendant, and you need to have a Disciple of War or Magic at level 70 to unlock this. And there you go. This looks like the trainer then. He looks very gruff, doesn't he? Long white hair. I'm curious. And then we've got the Sage section. Sage can be unlocked by completing a quest. This guy looks to be like a monk or something. The Sage's Path. That starts in Limsa Laminta, lower decks. Must be level 70 under Disciple of War and Magic with Vishalian Maiden. Interesting. It says, in accordance with the addition of new jobs, gear for Reaper and Sage has been added to the rewards for certain duties and will now be sold by merchant NPCs. Please note, however, that Reaper and Sage cannot be used in the Hall of a Novice, nor can they receive the first-time completion bonus from Guild Hess. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. Then we've got actions and traits have been adjusted. Sick pet action has been removed, so you can't sick your pet on things. This is just like miscellaneous battle stuff now. The time frame within which I can't spell or read. Players must execute actions to continue or complete combos has been extended. The following additions and adjustments have been made to limit breaks. So the use of limit breaks will no longer cancel action combos. That's huge. That's like the tank one. Brilliant. The range of effect of healer limit breaks has been increased from 30 to 50 yards. This should make it so that you can like res everybody on a fight where you're separated, such as, I don't know, Diamond Weapon Extreme, for example, getting both platforms without going into the middle. In order to curb the inflation of game data, such as HP and damage, values used in battle calculations have been downscaled. We know about that. Smaller numbers, but still being the same weight to them. Player attributes have been adjusted. Weapon damage will be adjusted to achieve parity between the physical and magical damage attributes of weapons at the same item level. Yeah, we know about this stuff. The effect of determination on damage dealt has been increased, but determination and piety attributes of certain low-level gear have been adjusted to match the values of a critical hit and direct hit attributes, so more balance. The effect of certain monster and NPC actions has been adjusted. Doesn't give an example. The amount of experience points required to level up Disciple of War and Magic classes and jobs has been adjusted due to the downscaling, so I presume it will be the same dealio, just things will look different. Yeah, the same reminder there. If you're between levels, say for instance you're, I don't know, 59 and a half up to 60, you might want to get that to 60, otherwise it's going to be 59 again with no experience after the release, because that's how it works. The Armory bonus granted below level 80 has been increased from 50 to 100%. Wow, that's a thing, isn't it? From level 80 onwards, the Armory bonus is 50% increase in experience gained by defeating enemies and fate rewards. So yeah, just like usual, basically get your first character to level 90, and then the rest of them have a 50% easier time. But 100% from before then, before level 80, that's huge. That's a lot quicker for alts and things, and alternate jobs, I mean. The status effect of True Self has been changed to Indomitable Spirit, and its description has been adjusted. This status effect is applied during instance quest battles, wherein players control NPC allies, and the difficulty has been set to easy or very easy. The effect of this status effect has not been changed. In accordance with the level cap, New World and Preferred World character bonuses will apply to all jobs at level 79 or below, and it'll have more information on that. New enemies have been added, just a few examples. We've got a moose, looks like Labyrinthos moose, like a weird dog character with pineapple legs, whatever this is, some scary lizard. And then we've got a moon cactuar that's all wispy. I like him. He's cute. He can stay. Can we have a minion of him, please? He's adorable. I do like that. It's really cool, isn't it? Like a, woo, I live on the moon. New dungeons have been added. So we've got Tower of Zot there, the Garlean, whatever that place is called, somewhere possibly in Favnia, question mark. A Labyrinthos style dungeon, question mark. Experience points previously earned from standard dungeon enemies will now be earned from dungeon bosses. So the experience that you get normally from monsters, they'll be delivered to you at the actual boss at the end of each area. Simply because less numbers going out throughout, apparently. It's a less lag, which is a good idea. The items obtained from treasure coffers in the following dungeons have been adjusted. Players will now obtain gear corresponding with the required average item level of each dungeon. So, average item level 45 and above, Amdapor Keep in the Wanderer's Palace, and so on. I'll let you look at that. But yes, Yes, that's good. It also means they've probably adjusted some of the actual gear in there as well. Last time they did something like this or adjusted something, they had a visual overall without actually telling us, and then some of the gear looks different. Looks good, though. In accordance with the increased level cap, players can now gain experience from level 80 dungeons, trials, and 5.x Alliance raid dungeons. As you know, new trials have been added, and they've just put a hidden block here. Obviously, they don't want to spoil that. When undertaking the Great Hunt and the Great Hunt Extreme, which is Rathalos, a new visual indication when shattering Rathalos' tail has been added, so maybe there was an issue with that. Unreal Trials have been temporarily disabled, but they're coming back in 6.1 with a new Unreal Trial with more stuff to add to exchange for faux leaves in the future. So next up, we've got a weapon coffer has been added to the following duties. So we've got Howling Eye, Bowl of Embers Hard, Wall Healer, Wall Eater Extreme, Shiva Extreme, onwards, just a lot of things, including Cloud Deck Extreme. So the weapon received from weapon coffers is determined by your current job. When opening weapon coffers as a paladin, you'll receive both a sword and a shield. So there we go. So now you can, it doesn't matter what drops, you can just roll on the item, get it, and then use it for yourself. That's pretty cool, I suppose, especially if you're looking for a specific weapon. The gear obtained from treasure coffers in the following duties has been changed to gear coffers. This includes Binding Coil and Binding Coil of Bahamut Savage, Alexander Savage, and Omega Savage. Accessories found in the Binding Coil of Bahamut Second Coil and Alexander Savage will drop directly as per normal. So those haven't been changed, just the gear coffers. Interesting. Players will now receive the power of the Echo in the event that all party members are incapacitated in the Cloud Deck and the Cloud Deck Extreme. I believe it's up to 50% on normal with 10% for each time, right? Up to 50%. And on Extreme, that goes up to a maximum of 25%, going up 5% each time. So yes, if you wanted to go back and do those things, do them unsynced and use the Echo, right? The strength of the Echo in Eden's Promise Savage has been increased as well. Healing potency up to 20%. There we go. Unlike other instances, the strength of the Echo will not increase in the event. Yeah, exactly. So it's just a fixed 20%. The Burning Field, it's called the Burning Field. And this is an expansion of Stone Sky Sea. I don't know why they just didn't call it Stone Sky Sea 2. But the Burning Field offers trials tailored to various high-level duties in which players are tasked with destroying a level 90 striking dummy. To access the Burning Field, players must first complete the following quest, A Place to Train, which is in Radzat Han. So yeah, if you've never done these before, it's basically, here is a time limit. This is a totem that represents a certain boss. Can you defeat it within that time? It's a good way of seeing DPS thresholds if you're up to the task, trying out new rotations to get your time better, and vice versa. This is an in-game way of passing your character, basically. The weekly restriction on receiving cracked stellar clusters upon clearing the Tower of Paradigm's Breach has been removed. We've got new elite marks. Look at these things. So we've got Gorilla, Mecha Gorilla. We've got whatever this guy is. I think I thought went past him, actually, the A rank in Favnir. We got a space pudding, and then we got a flowering cactuar moon creature. That's amazing. So there's regular and elite marks in the new areas, obviously. And we have a quest to unlock this called The Hunt for Specimens. You actually unlock this in Old Charlian. You can exchange sacks of nuts for items with the following NPCs in Old Charlian and Radzat Han. So they're sticking with the sacks of nuts thing, I guess. Reaper and Sage's arms are now available from the following Deep Dungeon vendors. Of course, Deep Dungeon's going to have Reaper and Sage ability, and you'll have yourself a lovely weapon as well, a nice glow weapon from those instances. Players can now sort the adventurers list by class and job when undertaking duties in Eureka, Bosgia, Zadnor, or Delabrum Reginate. Very nice quality of life feature. The error message that displays when attempting to use Return while undertaking the duties of the Battle of Castrum, Lacus Litore, or Dalriada has been adjusted. A confirmation prompt will now display when attempting to abandon the aforementioned duties and return to the Southern Front or Zadnor. The following adjustments have been made to Delibrum Regine, so the maximum wait time to enter has been set to 10 minutes. Once the time limit has been reached, players will enter the duty even if they have not reached a maximum party size of 24. Yeah, well, this is important because there's less people running it now, as I knew that would happen. Parties comprised of less than 24 players will be granted the Echo, very important. The strength of the Echo is determined by the number of players matched. Fewer players will result in a stronger Echo effect. These changes do not apply to Savage of Delibrum Regine, however. So, say, for instance, you're still doing your resistance weapons and, the storm has passed, less people are queuing. You will be able to queue in there. What is it with, I think we saw like the other instances down to 6 players or something. I'd be interested to do a 6-player run of DR. I love it. I've done 282 runs of it, but I'll do more. Elegant Tomestones of Aphorism have been added. Players can obtain up to a maximum of 2,000 Tomestones. Moreover, players can only receive Tomestones of Aphorism after reaching level 90 with at least one Disciple of War or Magic class or job. There is no weekly limitation on Aphorism. A secondary currency, Elegant Tomestones of Astronomy, will be available approximately 4 weeks after the official service start for Endwalker. There we go. So we've got a picture here of what you can get. Everything's gone. Phantasmagoria gone. Revelation gone. Allegory gone. And it's Poetics. Poetics also available for level 80 dungeons and below, and certain duty roulettes. Yeah, simple, really. I'm not going to read through that. It's fairly straightforward. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the Duty Finder. Category names and the duties listed within each have been reorganized. The undersized party option has been renamed to Unrestricted Party, so that's going to throw me off when I'm trying to find undersized. The functionality of this option has not been changed, however. 5.x duties can now be undertaken using the Unrestricted Party option. Certain duties will now grant the Epic Echo status effect when undertaken with Unrestricted Party option enabled. The Epic Echo status effect increases player attributes in order to maintain a level of difficulty similar to that experienced before the introduction of downscaling. The strength of this effect varies by duty level. So this could work very well, or this could work very poorly, depending on how much QA, right? The Raid Finder now only lists trials and duties introduced with 6.0. However, the Unending Coil of Bahamut Ultimate and Weapons Refrain Ultimate and Epic of Alexander Ultimate can still be accessed via the Raid Finder. The Duty Finder has been adjusted as follows. Obviously, they've changed what is in each of the roulettes and what the rewards are, as you can see. Expert gives 80 aphorism, for example. 50, 60, 70, 80 dungeons is now, that's what it says, is 100 Poetics and 120 aphorism. You can read those in your own time. Those are simple things that happen every time. Calculations for the experience points earned by Chocobo companions have also been adjusted. PvP actions for Reaper and Sage have been added. The PvP section is kind of empty for deliberation reasons. Obviously, this is preliminary patch notes. It'll be updated later. The Feast Season 20 will end and a pre-season begins. As much as there's not going to be a new season of Feast in 6.x, there is a pre-season up until 6.1 when they add Crystal Conflict instead. The top combatants of the PvP teams get their rewards from the previous season, Season 20. It says to avoid delays due to congestion with a release of 6.0, vouchers are scheduled to be delivered after 6.01. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause and thank you for understanding. Players finishing in bronze tier or higher can claim rewards by speaking with the Feast Quartermaster in a Wolf's Den Pier. And there you go. Right, new items. So firstly, there's this picture of the aphorism gear, right? So this is the Final Fantasy IV inspired stuff. Let's just have a quick zoom in here. A bit blurry, but Rydia, obviously Rydia's gear on the end there, Kane, etc. Looking pretty good. This is going to be the stuff that you can get, your aphorism stuff. So yes, very cool indeed. I'm looking forward to grabbing that. Due to the volume of items added with 6.0, they will not be listed in the patch notes. Obviously, they're not going to list all the items here. New recipes have been added. They're not going to do the same as, again, they're not going to list them. Certain recipes can now be crafted using quick synthesis. Again, that'll be added at a later date probably. Certain items can now be sold, desimped, or submitted for expert delivery missions, and the number of slots allotted to the main-handed rings has been increased to 50 on the armory chest. Lots of new space for that stuff. The description for items that increase experience points earned has been adjusted. It does the same, it's just a tooltip change. Look, it says increased XP earned by 30% when level 30 and below on the brand new ring. Not really anything different, I don't think. Reaper and Sage has been added as a required job for certain gear. Gear for Reaper and Sage can now be obtained from Grenold in the Tempest. This is a big one. Players must first reach level 80 and complete the level 80 role quests associated with each job before receiving their gear. So, if you're going to be playing Reaper or Sage, and you want to get some level 80 gear designed for those jobs, which is really cool, make sure you've done your role quests, all right? Make sure you've done that stuff, because you'll be able to go and get stuff as soon as you get to 80, and that's going to give you not only glamour that you might want, it might look cool, but also a really nice boost for when you go 80 to 90. So this is something to bear in mind, yes. The sale prices of certain items have been changed. They don't list them. Item names have been changed. New items are no longer... following items are no longer classified as unique. Nothing too crazy there. A new system has been added for allowing players to dye artifact gear after progressing to a certain point in role quests and the main scenario. So here we go. When I was playing on the media tour, people were like, hey, what? It's dyeable. And I did a video about that because the artifact gear that I was wearing at level 90 on my Sage was dyeable. It turns out you don't have to do a Castrum Meriadenum or whatever it is, Memora Miseria, extreme type fight to get the dyeable versions of artifact gear. It just simply unlocks the dye ability after a certain point in role quest in the main scenario. Thank you, Yoshi P. I love you for this. That's brilliant. No longer will people have to do a really annoying fight to actually unlock that ability to get those items. Very, very good stuff, and I hope they stick with this idea for the future, because dyeability is such a small thing, but a big impact, right? You can make some really cool stuff with the artifact stuff when it's dyeable, but there we go. Excited, let's put it that way. Following items are now dyeable. It doesn't list them all, I don't think, but the weathered ones, so this is the stuff that you turn in at Eureka, are have weathered removed, but are now dyeable. I thought they were already dyeable. Stuff like Sequence and Chango, etc., and Fail Not. Surprising. The following items can now be equipped regardless of gender. This is a big one. We've got the spring straw hat, the spring skirt, Favnerian headdresses, the Favnerian armlets, Favnerian sandals, the housemaid's apron dress, so you can look like a maid as a male character now. Loyal housemaid's brim, the loyal stuff. Rainbow Justicore butler's stuff, so as a female character, the butler's stuff, including the loyal butler's stuff. Spring dress shoes, Favnerian bustier, Favnerian tights, housemaid's brim, so the other housemaid stuff. The loyal housemaid's, the butler's monocle, and the so that's actually a really big thing. I've wanted to have that butler's outfit on my female character for a long time, and I'm sure there are male characters that are looking at this list and going, yeah, this is a good step forward. I agree with this. In accordance with the downscaling of in-game values, they say the following battle-related adjustments have been made. So gear's been changed with attributes, materia, potencies of meals and healing items, potencies of other meal and healing items below 50 has been increased, and vice versa. Following adjustments have been made to weapons obtained from relic weapon quests, so Zodiac, Eureka, and Resistance weapons. The secondary attributes have been adjusted automatically in accordance with the downscaling of values. That's important, otherwise your Resistance weapon with a stat you put on it might be overpowered. Good thing they thought about this. Animal weapons, all attributes have been reduced due to the downscaling of values. As a result of this change, players will be given the opportunity to reallocate secondary attributes. That's nice of them, but it's an animal weapon. I don't think we really care too much. The piety attribute has been removed from the following items, so a bunch of stuff has piety removed. Stuff like Thug's Mug, that's from the Dragon Quest event. I didn't even realize There's some weird stuff in the game that has stats on it that shouldn't, right? Proto-Ultima Mesh is a great example, like glamour stuff. The physical and magical defense of Disciple of War gear that can be equipped by tank classes below level 50 has been increased. In light of this change, selecting recommended gear in the character window as a tank may no longer result in the selection of gear with low item levels, depending on what is available in your inventory. Interesting. That's a good change, no? Players can no longer cast lots on coffers containing multiple gear pieces if they contain a unique item the player already possesses. This is a big one. So, for example, if you're, I don't know, I can't think of an example. It prevents people rolling on stuff they can't even use anyway. So there we go. The error message that displays when failing to open a chest containing unique items you already possess has been also adjusted. Belts. Belts can no longer be equipped. The waist tab of the armory chest has been removed. Belts can no longer be repaired. Materia can no longer be extracted from belts. Materia can no longer be affixed to belts. It is, however, possible to remove materia previously affixed to the belts. Belts can no longer be purchased. Belts can no longer be put up for sale. Belts can no longer be traded to players. Recipes for belts have been removed. And so on. You know where this is going. Quest rewards for belts have been removed. I like this one, though. The Ironworks belt of Fenning. It says, before becoming obsolete due to the advancements in tailoring, belts such as this were used for holding up trousers and the like. I love this. I love this game. They didn't have to put something in there, but they had to, right? Belts are gone, right? It's gone. Speaking of which, in 6.0, belts will be moved to the Calamity Salvager under the following circumstances. They're equipped by players or retainers, or they are stored in a player's armory chest. Belts in the possession of Calamity Salvagers will remain unchanged, including any affixed materia. Players can only retrieve belts from a Calamity Salvagers on their home world, and there's an actual option here like retrieve obsolete belts. That's when you go to a Calamity Salvager. That's how you get those. In accordance with a removal of belts, the calculations used to determine average item level have been adjusted. And also there are certain achievements, right, that required you to have a belt on. For example, my body is a temple, dressed like a pirate day. Now it's everything but without the belt. That makes perfect sense, right? I made that level worker 5, for example. Stuff like that, right? There's a lot less unique armor recipes now, because there's less belts to craft. So the achievement changes. There you go. It's as simple as that. The speed belt, then, from Eureka Pagos, you remember that one, is actually exchangeable for Blitz Ring. This is a new ring. You can get this if you go to the Calamity Salvager, if you exchange the speed belt. Very cool. Sundry Splendors, a one-stop shop for gear and items purchased in exchange for tomestones and scripts, has been added to Crystarium. As you can see with this bun, where you can get all sorts of bits and you can exchange for previous things. Sometimes they have some really cool stuff on here, like Eden Choir gear. Like, ooh, I'm interested, very interested. The following adjustments have been made to gear exchanges for Allegan Tombstones of Phantasmagoria, Allegory, and Revelation. Now it's with Poetics, basically. That's what it comes down to. Everything that was allegory or revelation is just poetics. That's what it is. The maximum amount of crystal sand and umbrite required to complete an anima weapon has been reduced from 80 to 60. I just on the stream the other day completed that stage of an anima weapon and was moaning about this. No. Still, really good nerf to an anima Heavensward relic. Interesting. New items have been added to the inventory of Calamity Salvagers. The requirements for purchasing the following items from Calamity Salvagers have been adjusted. So now you have different I'm not going to read through all these, but it looks like class quests and things as a change. I don't know why. The collectible dealer in Mordona has been removed, obviously, because goodbye HQ stuff. The level cap for Disciples of Hand and Land has also been increased to 90, as if you didn't know that. The amount of experience point required up to level them has been adjusted in accordance to the downscaling. Purple Crafter script and Purple Gatherer script currencies have been added that are available at level 90. Very nice. 200,000 maximum at any one time. I don't know why I said 200,000. The following additions and adjustments have been made. So white scripts, but say goodbye to yellow and red scripts, basically. They're gone. But you'll be able to exchange the yellow scripts, but the red ones are gone. Like gone. If you've got any red ones, exchange them now. Yellows you can exchange in 6.0, but they're gone from being obtainable. And white scripts are still there. Script exchange. So available menu categories for the Splendors vendor in NPC in Idleshire has been changed. Now it's just tradecraft and fieldcraft items rather than like a bajillion other options. That's nice. The following adjustments have been made to script tokens. Yeah, it's just more removals. Flying text will now be displayed when using items or actions that restore CP or GP. Oh, that's cool. Floating battle text. Very nice. New actions and traits have been added for Disciples of Hand. The following recipes for Gladiators, Arms, and Shield has been removed and replaced with recipes to craft them as a set. Oh, that's nice. So these are the removed recipes, look. And these are the new recipes. So you get the Paladin's Levin Arms, for example, instead of having to... That's really nice, actually. Very cool. Very cool. The following adjustments have been made to the crafting log. You can now add things to favorites as well. If that's a thing. Recipes under the level-based recipe and special recipe tabs are now ordered from highest level to lowest level. Nice. Categories under housing in the special recipe tab have been adjusted from housing 1 and housing 2 to fixtures, outdoor furnishings, and the rest of it. So they've got categories now. An icon has been added to indicate high-quality versions of a material may be used for an initial increase to a recipe's quality. This is an arrow up. Very interesting. That's useful. Sky Steel tool materials are no longer required to be high quality when exchanging the upgraded tools. So a lot of people wondered if this was going to happen. So now you don't need the HQ versions because there is no the HQ items. High quality materials may still be used when exchanging for upgraded tools. So yeah, interesting. But that's a bit of a nerf, right? Players above level 80 will receive a maximum of 1,000 experience when submitting items to the House of Splendors or Ishgard Restoration. It means that there's a cap. It doesn't scale past that. Once you're after level 80, it's, there's no way around it. You do 80 content plus. It is now possible to submit collectible fish with a low collectability rating into the House of Splendors, and experience points and scripts awarded upon submission will be adjusted accordingly. The amount of type of crafted scripts has been adjusted. Basically, it's just adjustments to pretty much everything, isn't it? For all of this stuff. For high quality, basically, in a downscaling of values. Resplendent tool components crafted prior to the release of 6.0 has been renamed obsolete resplendent tool components. Obsolete resplendent tool components may still be used to exchange for upgraded materials by speaking with Limbeth in Yulmar. Obsolete resplendent tool components must meet collectability rating requirements to be exchanged. Fair enough. New actions and traits have been added to Disciple of Land. What have we got here for Disciple of Land? It is no longer possible to gather high-quality items. Furthermore, the chance to obtain high-quality items has been replaced with a Gatherer's Boon effect. Triggering Gatherer's Boon increases the item yield by 1. The chance of triggering this effect is determined by your perception rating. Gathering point characteristics that previously increased the chance of obtaining high-quality items now increase the chance of triggering Gatherer's Boon. The 200% bonus to the experience points earned gathering high-quality items has been replaced with a 100% bonus to experience points earned upon triggering Gatherer's Boon. And the requirement for the botany and minor and eye for quality achievements has been changed, obviously in accordance. New items with specific perception requirements has been added to gathering points for botanist and minor, as you would imagine. Look here, it says required perception to 990. Let's see what else. Vitality attribute on gatherer gear has been adjusted. The following adjustments were made to the gathering log. Look, items listed under the level tab are now ordered from highest level to lowest level, with the categories under the special tab being adjusted. That's a nice quality of life change. The following items are no longer available as high quality, obviously, from gathering, fishing, defeating enemies, purchase in exchange for elegant tombstones, gatherer scripts, and crafter scripts, ethereal reduction. Yeah, basically. You can still craft high quality items, but the items that you gather are not. anymore, if that makes sense. In accordance with a removal of high-quality items from gathering and fishing, the following adjustments have been made. Following quests can now be completed by submitting normal quality items. That's all of your class quests, your Beast Tribe daily quests, and for Namazu and Kitari. Oh, and the Facet quest as well. Bonuses for submission on high-quality items has been removed from the following quests. However, the base rewards have been increased. So, as much as it's been removed, you're still going to get the same amount. Fishers can no longer catch high-quality fish. Obviously, they now are able to catch large-sized fish. So it gives you large or whatever, or small. When catching a large-sized fish, there is a chance to receive the Angler's Art status effect. This effect may be stacked up to 10 times and may used to execute various fisher actions. There, I can't speak. The following actions in game features no longer use high-quality fish and will instead use a large-sized fish. Oh, I see. So Mooch now requires large-sized fish to execute and stuff like that. Patience and Patience 2. Fishing release list, and the achievements. Okay, fair enough. So it's not high quality anymore, it's just large. That's all it's changed to. It's basically a tooltip change, isn't it, really? But with stacking buffs. The following additions and adjustments have been made to high quality items. Yeah, so stuff that was there now just says functions as a normal quality item. Vice versa. Not really too much need to dwell on that. Spearfishing system now looks like this. You go up to teeming waters and you actually have to time stabs of your spear. They tried to make this more interactable rather than looking at bubbles that come off of teeming waters. Simple as that, really, as they show you here. Really cool. The more fish you spear, the higher that it goes up, basically. And the more fish you catch, right? So that's how that works. And I believe it counts that way towards your large fish as well, like your rarer fish. Also, you've got spearfishing, so teeming waters. The category names for fishing records and the method by which a fish's size is recorded has also been adjusted. The fishing records prior to 6.0 will not be lost, so that's good. There's your record section. AAA records can now be obtained from certain teeming water locations listed in the fishing log. Lots of new fishing stuff. Basically, ocean fishing. When catching large-sized fish, players will receive a 100% point bonus. Oh, that's nice. The Gallstorm effect granted when a flock of seagulls appear has been changed to increase the chance of landing a large-sized fish. Oh, that's really nice. In accordance with the increase in level cap, the rewards granted based on player level have been adjusted, so they've also increased or decreased experience points and gatherer scripts. And at level 90, you get the purple gatherer scripts. Very nice, as well as white gatherer scripts. Lovely. The following additions and adjustments have been made to fishing, so there are new fishing holes, obviously, and S-rank records can now be obtained from certain fishing spots listed in the fishing log. Fisher's intuition now remains progress. Even after you log out, if you DC, you don't lose that progress. Very nice. Sale price has been changed for bait. New regional folklore to go and get. Miner and botanist gathering points added. New items. You know it by now. This is the usual stuff. Desynthesis cap, however, is now 580 from 520. So that's the thing. And also you get new items and more items from ethereal reduction. So that's pretty good. New mounts have been added. We've got this, which is a level checker mount. We don't know where this is from. Your character sits inside the monitor of the level checker and bounces around. There's actually a slidey thing here showing what it looks like with a Rogadin inside as it's bouncing around. This is an amazing mount. I don't know where this is from. Hopefully in-game. I would love to get this. It'd be nice if it was from, I don't know, Tomes or something. I don't know. Maybe even Omega. New minions have been added. I'm not sure what this fella is. He looks a little bit like Totoro. And we've seen Krabby before on the Instagram posts. Very nice. I can't wait to get those. Dancer barding, though. That looks lovely. Absolutely adorable. Or is that Favnerian barding? I get mixed up. I think that's Favnerian barding. Beautiful, though. Look at those colors. Wow. And this is one of the coolest things. The new fashion accessory that it says accessories. We don't know where this is from. It could be bicolor gemstones in the logs, in Dome Meg, or it could be Ilmeg, or it could of course be from just I don't know, Gold Saucer or something. Fey wings. need to say any more. Those are beautiful. So you've got 4 butterfly wings coming out of you. So you too can be a fairy. Nice. I love it. If only these were a mount, you know? If only. But they're just fashion accessories. New market board added to Old Charlian. Obviously, reduced tax rates have been adjusted. Retainers can now be registered to the Old Charlian market. Retainer cap is level 90. Retainers can also be sages and reapers. Very nice. Experience points has been changed because of the value changes. Retainers. New objectives have been added to delivery missions and exploratory ventures. The number of items obtained has been increased. New items can be obtained from quick exploration ventures. Oh, I'm excited to see what they've added. The bonus to items received from gatherer delivery missions will now be affected by a retainer's perception rather than the gathering rating. Interesting. The required item level or gathering rating required for delivery missions can now be confirmed before selecting a mission. When selecting items in the delivery missions window for gatherers, the options search recipes using this material and search for item by gathering method have been added to the subcommand menu. And players can now confirm items not recorded in their gathering log when viewing the delivery missions window. Lots of little changes there. Achievements windows changed. We already talked about this before. It's a complete revamp. Across the board, it looks so much better, much prettier. You've got your near completion section, your recommended section, and vice versa. Looks really, really good. I actually really think this is a massive visual change. Very cool. New achievements and titles have been added, as you would imagine. The following adjustments have been made to teleportation. An option has been added to only use Aetheryte tickets when the cost exceeds a specific gil allowance. Oh, so you can make press the cog, like, to change what allowance. Oh, that's great. That's really good. The gil cost for using teleport has been adjusted, obviously, depending on where you are. When you go to mini Ethernets, you can teleport directly via the map that shows up now, or you can click on the thing. If you click on the icons in the map to mini Etherites anywhere in the game, it's an instant teleport. If you click on the list, it's a double click. If I remember from the media tour. Maps will not be displayed when accessing the Ethernet in the following areas, which includes Eureka, Bosgia, the Firmament, and Zadnor. That should be fairly explanatory. They've not done that stuff. The world map's been updated to include the 3 great continents. That's the world map in its entirety. What a beautiful world map. I'm glad they've done that. I really am. I want a nice big picture of that for a wallpaper for my monitor, so hopefully we can get that. When viewing the map, players can now toggle between levels by pressing LB and X, which is L1 plus square. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the player search menu. Of course, you've got Reaper and Sage added there. That looks so cool, doesn't it, to see a 4th healer? I'm so excited. The custom option has been added under location for searching, right? So this is the search field, so you can choose where they are. Oh, I see here how it's called elsewhere. Oh, Labyrinthos, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, elsewhere. Where's elsewhere? Have they messed up? Have they accidentally posted something? No, they've been careful and clever. Very good. Very good. I thought they'd messed up here, but no. The party list will now display the target of spells cast by party members. Oh, yeah, targets of target. Yeah, that's nice. That's a good change. The following adjustments have been made to the party finder. Search results will no longer include parties you cannot join due to the 1 player per job setting being enabled. Pure healers and barrier healers can now be specified when recruiting party members. Yeah, I remember them talking about that. When a party member withdraws from a duty that is about to start, other party members will also receive a notification that a penalty has been incurred upon the player who withdrew. Only party members who have selected commence prior to a party member withdrawing will receive this notification. Interesting. The Ether Compass has been moved to the Collections menu now. That's good. That's really good. If the Ether Compass was registered to your hotbar prior to the release of 6.0, it has been replaced with a question mark icon. This icon can be safely removed. Oh, no, I'm going to keep it there. If you have previously owned but discarded an Ether Compass, a new one can be added to the Collections menu automatically. That's good. That's really good. That means that you don't have to like deal with calamity salvages. It's just a built-in menu. That's how they should deal with all of those things, to be honest, in my opinion. HP bars will now display even when you're dead on the floor. Look, very cool. Actually, more useful because sometimes people use play dead emote and I can't tell the difference. Now I'll be able to help people. Usually I think they're emoting. The conditional enhancements category has been added to the HUD layout interface. Yeah, so you've got your buff tracking stuff up here. Very nice. Let's see. The following actions and adjustments have been made to ground targeting. The cursor speed setting has been changed from 0 to 100 to 0 to 200. Oh, that's good. So you can have super high reactive cursor speed. That's useful. An option to prevent the cursor from moving beyond the ground targeting range has been added. Oh yeah, that's another thing, isn't it? So that if you put down like, I don't know, a DPS cooldown or something, I'm trying to think of something, whatever, right? Asylum, when you place that down with your healer, there'll be a limit on where you can place that. It won't let you exceed that range of where it's maximum from your character. So that's going to be helpful. So you can't accidentally click on it when it goes red and then fail to put the item down. That's good. Well, the spell down. An option to execute actions by pressing the action buttons a second time has been added. Very nice. A text command to execute ground targeted actions without entering ground target mode has been added. I don't want any text commands, let's be honest. When submitting or trading items, right-clicking with a mouse or pressing X or square with a controller will automatically select the high-quality items or collectible items with the highest rating first. That's a good change. I love that. That's time management, that is. That's saving me a lot of time on those custom deliveries. Because sometimes I make a bunch of stuff and then it's all over the place in quality. It makes sense you want to turn in your highest quality stuff, so usually I'm scrolling. Not anymore. In accordance with the increased level cap, the conditions that must be met to set your status as new adventurer have been adjusted. So a new adventurer now has to have played less than 300 hours. Wow, that's a different change. Have not completed the main scenario quest Death Unto Dawn. So that's when you're a new adventurer. Previously, it was like less than 168 hours and a Requiem for Heroes, but now it's 300 hours. So that means that that means that some people probably will be a new adventurer for a lot longer. Fair enough. Fair enough. As the game grows, it makes more sense. The bonus to experience points earned with a mentor, when a mentor forms a party with a new adventurer or returner, will now apply until level 80. That's good. That promotes mentorship, you know. In accordance with the increased level cap, the requirements for new mentors has been adjusted as follows. You must have completed a level 90 tank role quest, level 90 healer role quest, the level 90 melee DPS, physical range DPS, or magical range DPS role quests, must have completed at least 1,000 dungeons and trials, and must have received at least 1,500 player accommodation. So really there's not too much change other than levels there. And Disciple of Hand and Land, it's now level 90 as well. So they haven't changed the other numbers. Okay. Players who are currently mentors must renew their certification during 6.0. Players who fail to do so will be unable to access certain features during this period. Once the renewal period has ended, players who have not renewed their certification will lose the mentor status and must wait until after 6.1 to reapply for certification. Interesting. Very interesting. New dungeons are available for Explorer mode. This includes all of the 6.0 dungeons they add, by the way, which is really exciting. I love Explorer mode. It's a way of going into a dungeon when there's nothing in there and just exploring. You can also summon target dummies and test limit breaks and all that stuff and DPS. It's really good. Nice little dungeon for yourself for a little bit. Also really good for filming. They've also not only have all of the new 6.0 stuff being added to that, but also some from Stormblood, including Doma, Castle, Shisui of the Violet Tides, Castrum, Abania, Barnum's Metal, and the Siren Song Sea. So expect a lot of G-Pose opportunities as well in there. Lovely. Speaking of G-Pose, we've got lots of new stickers, as you can see, lots of music stuff and the rest of it, including the ability now to actually go into group pose whilst you have an instrument out. really important. Previously, it required you to, I mean, you could do it, but it was a glitch where you would press the button at the same time and it would let you in, and it was temperamental. Now there's just a button to let you do it. They know that people want to take pictures of them playing guitar. Let's be honest, that's now possible. Can now be initiated when undertaking a duty as an NPC ally. Oh, so now you can do G-pose whilst you're transformed into an NPC. It also says, or when transformed into an enemy NPC. Oh, does that mean when you're mind controlled into something? Oh, that's really cool. So if you turn into like a little Spriggan, you can now use G-pose. That's really cool. New frames have been added and new stickers. NPCs that accompany you in certain quests are introduced in patch 6.0 and can be set as targets. So they talked about the idea of walking around doing your main scenario and having the Alphino and Alice walking around with you. That seems to be there as well now. Really cool stuff. More environmental storytelling. Duties that can be recorded via Duty Recorder have been changed now to just the Tower at Paradigm's Breach and 2 question marks. Goodbye Puppet's Bunker. I still think the Duty Recorder situation sucks. It really does. It should be used more often. It's such a lovely feature, but it's just not used. When selecting items being sold by a retainer, the options search for item by crafting method and search for item by gathering method have been added to the sub-command menu. When unlocking active help entries, a link to the active help window will appear in the chat log now. The error message displayed when failing to send a tell to a player on another world who has not registered you as a friend has been adjusted. Players can now disable resizing of a chat log window via mouse drag. Very cool. In order to reduce server congestion upon the release of 6.0, the following measures will be implemented temporarily. With continued monitoring of server activity, they say. Players who are inactive for 30 minutes will be logged out automatically, and the new areas will be split into multiple instances. Particular instances can be selected when entering from a neighboring area or teleporting via Aetheryte. We saw this previously. They've done a huge write-up on this that I'll let you read because it's even bigger than this. Basically there'll be a lot more instances of places, including like the Rising Stones, for example, as well as Mordona. Features of the DualSense PlayStation 5 controller and the DualShock PS4 controller can now be used on the DirectX 11 only version of Windows. Oh, right, okay. Requires a USB connection. Haptic feedback, adaptive triggers. Oh, nice. Sound effects via the built-in speaker, rumble, and sound effects. Very nice. So that's the supports there. Embody Support. So this is the immerse spatial audio has been added. That's really cool. It's a third-party application that's supported by Final Fantasy XIV, and you need a license for that. And essentially it allows for 3D audio by measuring all sorts of mathematical scientific information with the size and type of ear you have, giving you a 360-degree personalized audio experience. It's really cool. I'm going to try that out, actually. Additions have been made to the system configuration interface on PS5, PS4, and Windows for that immerse stuff. So there is actually a UI option for that now. Character configuration menu now has a HUD tab to disable those character portraits with dialogue widget and stuff like that, and vice versa. Then we have text commands, other miscellaneous stuff. What else we got? More commands that you can use for macros and things. Auto translation dictionary changes, new trophies for PS5, new music, sound effects, and voices have been added. The sound engine has been improved to more easily discern sound effects with a large group of players present, probably for that 360 thing. The preparation for Oceania data center, the data center selection screen has been adjusted, so there's now a gap for them when they finally add them. When UI resolution settings are set to high or the 4K setting, the title and character selection screens will also use high resolution fonts. That's awesome. The higher the fonts, the better the experience without having horrible glitchy stuff. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the game launcher for the PS5 and Windows. The design has been changed. The theme settings have been added, so you can get a light and a dark theme. An option to restore game data has been added to the Windows version. This option is recommended when encountering gameplay or launch errors due to corrupted files. That's pretty useful. Very useful. Final 2 points. The title screen logo and opening movie has been changed to Endwalker with the moon passing by. And Reaper and Sage have been added to the solo rankings for Palace of the Dead and Heaven on High. And that's the patch notes in their entirety at this point. These are preliminary patch notes, which means that there is a full set of notes being added to this over time. I will probably not cover the full notes because it will just be this item was added, this item was added. We'll do other videos to represent those items and new additions. But hopefully this patch notes reading was interesting. It was fairly exhausting for me to read through. I know a lot of people don't have time for this or maybe want something to listen to whilst they're on a long journey. Hopefully it ticked those boxes. Things I'm excited for the most so far are the fashion accessories, minions and mounts. You know me, I love a good mount and a minion. The level checker mount is probably the highlight of the whole thing. Endwalker is literally just a couple of days away now. I never thought we'd... it feels like we've been waiting to say that for a long time after the delays and stuff. But there we go. Link in the description. Go check out these patch notes yourself. Hopefully I filled them, fulfilled them, read out everything that you wanted to know that's been on here. And yeah, let me know. Much love. Enjoy the rest of your day. I need a coffee, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.